If you've ever found yourself lying awake in the quiet hours of the night, staring at the ceiling and wondering why sleep doesn't come as easily as it once did, you're not alone. Maybe you fall asleep quickly but wake too early, or you drift off only to wake again and again through the night. You might notice that the next day feels different too. Your thoughts feel slower, your patience thinner, your mood a little more fragile than you expect. If that sounds familiar, it's worth saying this right away. Changes in sleep after 50 are common, and they don't mean your body is failing you. They mean your body is changing, and learning how to respond to those changes can make a meaningful difference. Today's conversation is about sleep after 50 and how it quietly affects memory, mood, and emotional balance. Not to create worry, but to help you understand what's happening and how to support yourself with clarity instead of frustration. As we get older, the body's sleep rhythms naturally shift. The internal clock that once carried you smoothly through deep, uninterrupted nights may begin to run a little differently. You might feel sleepy earlier in the evening and wake earlier in the morning. You may spend less time in deep sleep and more time in lighter stages of rest. This doesn't mean you're sleeping wrong. It means your sleep architecture is changing, just like vision, hearing, and metabolism change with time. Sleep also becomes more sensitive to outside influences. Stress, light, noise, late meals, medications, and even small disruptions can have a bigger impact than they once did. Have you noticed that a restless night affects you more now than it did years ago? That awareness makes sense. Sleep is deeply connected to how the brain functions. When rest is disrupted, memory and mood are often the first areas to feel it. During sleep, the brain does important housekeeping work. It organizes memories, strengthens learning, and clears out waste products that build up during the day. When sleep is shortened or fragmented, that process becomes less efficient. You may notice more forgetfulness, slower recall, or difficulty concentrating, even when nothing else seems wrong. And this kind of memory change can be unsettling. But it's important to know that sleep-related memory issues are often temporary and responsive to support. Mood is closely tied to sleep as well. Poor sleep can lower emotional resilience, making small frustrations feel bigger and patience harder to access. You may feel more irritable, more anxious, or more emotionally sensitive after a series of restless nights. This isn't a character flaw. It's a biological response. The brain needs rest to regulate emotions effectively. As sleep changes over time, it can also shift how you see yourself. When rest feels harder to come by, it's easy to interpret that as weakness or loss of control. But the truth is, your body is communicating, not failing. It's asking for a different kind of support than it once needed. There's a tendency to judge ourselves during sleepless nights. We replay the day, anticipate the next one, and quietly worry about how tomorrow will feel. That mental loop can make the night feel longer than it actually is. Recognizing that pattern with kindness rather than frustration can soften its grip. Have you noticed how pressure to sleep well sometimes makes sleep harder to reach? That's not a personal flaw. It's a common response when the mind feels responsible for something the body needs to do naturally. Letting go of that pressure, even a little, often allows rest to arrive more gently. Sleep doesn't always come when it's demanded. It comes when the body feels safe enough to let go. Creating that sense of safety is often more important than chasing perfect routines or strict rules. One helpful way to think about this is by stepping back and looking at the bigger picture. Sleep naturally changes with age, and lighter sleep is common. But ongoing sleep disruption can affect memory, mood, and quality of life. So paying attention to sleep patterns becomes a form of self-care, not self-criticism. And keep in mind, not all sleep changes are the same. Occasionally, sleeping poorly after a stressful day is very different from feeling unrested most nights. Patterns matter more than isolated experiences. A bad night here and there is normal. Ongoing difficulty falling asleep, staying asleep, or feeling restored in the morning is worth noticing. Not with alarm, but with curiosity. It's also important to remember that sleep doesn't exist in isolation. Physical health, emotional well-being, and daily routines all influence how well you rest. Pain, frequent bathroom trips, medications, and health conditions can all interrupt sleep. So can worry, mental overstimulation, or a sense that the mind won't slow down. Have you noticed that your thoughts feel louder at night than they used to? That experience is very common. As life responsibilities shift, the quiet hours often become the only time the mind has space to process. Learning how to gently signal safety and calm to your nervous system can help sleep come more naturally. As sleep patterns change, many people worry about long-term effects. They wonder whether poor sleep could lead to memory decline or emotional instability. It's helpful to approach this calmly. Chronic sleep deprivation can affect brain health, but occasional or moderate sleep changes do not automatically lead to long-term problems. The body is resilient. It responds well to consistent, supportive habits over time. When sleep issues persist, knowing when to seek support can be empowering. If poor sleep is affecting daily functioning, memory, or mood for weeks or months, it's reasonable to talk with a healthcare provider. Sometimes sleep problems are linked to treatable conditions like sleep apnea, restless legs, hormonal shifts, or medication effects. Addressing those factors can significantly improve rest and daytime clarity. Having these conversations doesn't mean something is seriously wrong. It means you're gathering information and giving yourself options. Family conversations can be helpful too. Sharing how sleep affects your mood or memory can reduce misunderstandings and increase support. Many people underestimate how much sleep influences emotional balance. When sleep improves, patience often improves alongside it. While no single habit guarantees perfect sleep, there are ways to support better rest after 50. These approaches aren't cures. They're supports, and they work best when practiced gently and consistently, which is a common theme in many senior health tips. Regular daytime movement helps regulate the sleep-wake cycle. Exposure to natural light during the day supports healthy circadian rhythms. Evening routines matter as well. Creating a predictable wind-down period helps signal to the brain that it's safe to rest. Limiting bright light and stimulation in the hours before bed can make falling asleep easier. So can keeping sleep and wake times relatively consistent. Nutrition plays a role too. Heavy meals late at night, excess caffeine or alcohol close to bedtime can disrupt sleep quality. What you do during the day often matters just as much as what you do at night. Balanced activity and intentional rest work together. With that said, what is one small change you've noticed helps you sleep better, even if just a little? Recognizing what already works can be grounding. It shifts focus from what feels broken to what's already supportive. That mindset reduces pressure and helps habits stick. Stress management is especially important. A nervous system stuck in high alert has difficulty settling into rest. Simple practices like gentle stretching, slow breathing, or quiet reflection can calm the body. These moments don't need to be elaborate to be effective. It's also helpful to release the expectation of perfect sleep. Chasing perfect rest can sometimes make sleep more elusive. Instead, focusing on restfulness, consistency, and compassion often leads to better outcomes over time. Sleep improves when the body feels safe, not pressured. As this conversation comes together, it's worth reflecting on how sleep influences how you experience your days. Better sleep often brings clearer thinking, steadier mood, and more emotional flexibility. Have you noticed how a well-rested morning feels different, even if the night wasn't perfect? That difference matters. Sleep after 50 isn't about returning to how you slept at 25. It's about learning what your body needs now and responding with patience and care. Changes in sleep don't mean decline, they mean adaptation. When you understand how sleep affects memory and mood, you gain leverage. You can make small, informed choices that support your well-being, and those choices add up. It can also be reassuring to remember that rest isn't limited to sleep alone. Moments of quiet during the day, pauses between tasks, and even brief periods of stillness all contribute to how rested the brain feels. The nervous system responds to these signals of calm, even when nighttime sleep is imperfect. Those moments matter more than they may seem. There's wisdom in learning to work with your body instead of against it. When you honor changing rhythms rather than resisting them, stress often eases. And when stress eases, sleep and mood often follow. Have you noticed how much better your days feel when you allow yourself to move at a slightly gentler pace? That shift isn't giving up. It's adapting with intention. And adaptation is a form of strength. Sleep after 50 is less about control and more about relationship. The more compassion you bring to that relationship, the more supportive it becomes. And ultimately, rest grows in environments where patience replaces pressure. Every day is another chance to care for the body that's carried you this far. Keep learning, keep moving, keep believing in your own strength. Because aging isn't slowing down, it's leveling up. If today's message resonated, take a moment to subscribe, leave a thought in the comments, or share this video with someone who could use a little encouragement. Because together we're proving that aging well isn't the exception, it's the standard.